Hello friend, welcome back to Diesel Mercedes YouTube channel. We have that brandly new installed yesterday. The installation of electricity was done finally for this rotary lift, and we have two cars. That means one of them will be the first one ever to go up. I talked to them already, and Mr. Mini said I will be a gentleman and let the lady go first. So we will have opportunity to actually look underneath 300 CD, right? It's a Mercedes W123 generation, and have a little tour. And what is always obviously critical is the placement of these arms, where to put them, right? It's not easy decision, and I'm not kidding you, this is the first time ever I will be lifting car on it. I finished the installation of the arms and everything yesterday. I lifted up without the weight, right, and load. So this is the first time with the load. Let's see if it works. And that's it. As you can see, you never know what will happen, so now it's time for some troubleshooting. Days ago you saw the fail with the lift, right? I was trying to lift Mercedes up, but the lift electricity wasn't hooked correctly. It was just 110 instead of 220. Let's see what will happen today. Hopefully we can have a peek how it looks under Mercedes-Benz W123 chassis. Hair on the blocks, and this is in a ready position for us to finally have a good look under. So here she is up in the air finally, right? And let's go and have a look under. Today's Thursday. This lift started working on Monday. I already worked on the bunch of the cars. You have no idea how I'm enjoying this lift. It's unbelievable. So here in back, right, the detail of the exhaust hangers. Let's follow the exhaust, for example, right? So it has two back here, and there immediately two more here. Here we can see some ghetto stuff, right? One of them is missing, so there is a wire. And surprisingly, there is only a bump stop, which is right there. You see that, right? But there's no hanger the entire time until this moment where it's attached basically to the engine, right? A special hanger, and it goes up to the turbo and back in the back. Here you can see the differential and its mount, right? It's bravely surviving. I have no idea how it survived so many years. You can actually see the outlet from the gas tank, right, which is standing behind the rear seats, and this is where that famous strainer or screen is located. So we know, all of us, right? If you have a problem with the power uphill, you most likely always need to check first this strainer. Now, here are the brakes, right? The one single piston brakes. And here are the shafts. You can see that the rubber, it's starting cracking, and it's really going bad on the both sides, especially right here. Look at this one, right? Let me move it. You can see the detail. Now, surprisingly, it still didn't break, and I admire that. I mean, that material of that rubber was really good, because this is 1984 and right now it's 2018 here. On most of the cars this will be long time ago replaced. This rear axle, right, that rear end has a little sway bar. You can see it right here, right? It comes all the way to the other side. Of course, as you can hear, this is all shot and it can be making some clanking sound, but it's still there. These are the other fuel lines which are routed on the driver's side. Here you can see the siphon, like a pressure valve which should depressurize the gas tank, right? The detail of the parking brake, right? The whole mechanism, it comes in one cable and then it splits on two. So this one's passenger, the other one it's driver's side, right? So it's going there. Here a transmission mount completely chewed up, right? By the leaks of the engine oil and tranny fluid possibly. This is complete garbage. But somehow it still works, right? And it's still doing its job. Obviously, transmission oil pan with it drain, that little tiny drain. This torque converter, if you will be turning it around, it has a drain plug on this 4-speed transmission. So if you do this job, you can drain it right here, right? But also you can completely drain the torque converter. It's accessible through here. You just have to go and keep turning the motor, right, until it shows up. Here you can see our brand new starter, right, which was installed just recently. Very fascinating. The front, right, the whole thing. Look at these, how shot they are, right? This is absolutely amazing. Here, those bolts for changing the alignment, right? Engine oil pan, dented, heavily dented, hit, but it still, again, it still works. It's amazing. Missing air conditioner compressor, right? This is mount for it, but it was removed by someone in the past. Here you can see perfectly that the shock, right, it's not inside of the spring, but the Mercedes at that time put a spring here and the shock is on the side. Here is the other side. Here is the engine shock, right? It's actually supposed to be slowing the shake of the engine, so that's another part which is pretty commonly replaced. Looking up front, right, these are transmission cooling lines which are going in the main radiator, right? You have two horns here, right? And these lines are oil cooling lines in the oil cooler unit. That's separate from the radiator. I skipped this area. That's obviously the steering box, the gearbox, right? And this thing, it's actually bottom of that engine oil housing, right? That huge cartridge filter, it's up there, and this is where it's mounted to the engine. If you look on the steering, right, these are the parts. This is the steering, it's like a shock, right? It's slowing. And here is that idler arm, right? If you are buying these parts, it's many times it's loose here also. Here you are looking on that passenger front wheel. This is the part of the steering, right? I can show you how it looks completely shot tie rod end. Look at this. See, there's no lubrication, the boot is ripped and it's freely moving inside. So that's actually becoming dangerous and should be replaced immediately. This Mercedes, it's in the bad shape and she could benefit from basically endless maintenance and repair. I guarantee that you can work on this car for a long time, replacing and fixing parts, and the list will be not ending. Trust me on that. Well, my friend, I hope you enjoyed this little tour from underneath of W123 generation, and please make sure you are subscribed. I will have way more videos coming your way soon. Thanks for watching and have a wonderful day.